Hi, welcome to IAS Factor's Radar, which is a new series that we have launched, and it's an exclusive current affairs section where we'll discuss burning topics around the world. And I'm Arjun R. Shankar. So today we'll start off with the tariff, because of lately everybody is talking about Trump's tariff. India has already got the brunt of it. India has already got the 25%, and now from 25% it has even gone to 50% tariff. I don't want to go into the economic aspects of how tariff is going to affect India, but it's really hit really bad. India is suffering. But at the same time, the real question comes, America is targeting India. America is hitting with India with tariffs 25 to 50%. But why is America sparing China? That is the deep discussion that we'll have today. So why do you think America is not targeting China and sparing them? Why do you think America is actually targeting India? Because they say we are all buying oil from Russia. We are buying oil from Russia, and according to America, they say the threats to the US from Russian Federation. This is apparently what they call. There is an imminent threat to the US from the Russian Federation, and oil production and buying oil from Russia is a serious threat. So just look at the statistics perspective. China gets almost 109 million tons of oil from Russia, and India is just using just 88 million tons. So look at the gap between India and China. China is getting more. But why is this double standards that is shown to India? There is a reason, and that is the reason that we are going to discuss, because US is not in a position, the United States of America is not in a position to engage and fight with China because of some reasons. Number one is the most important one that we should discuss, is the rare earth minerals or the rare earth elements. You know that how rare earth elements is important, especially when you talk about the smartphone, the defense, the clean tech, or let it be any technology, you need to have these rare earth minerals. These are the 17 most important elements like lanthanum, cerium, neodymium, and serbium, terbium. There are a lot of other important rare earth minerals that they use. And China has almost like the monopoly. Since 1990, you can see more than 85 to 90% of the global production of these rare earth elements is controlled by China. And look at the other side, look at the flip side. Look at the automotive industries, the energy, the factories, which depends on these raw materials. United States of America really depends on all these production. And if United States of America is actually taking an action against China, what if China says, we will not give you the rare earth minerals? That is what exactly happened. And US exactly did the same thing. And when China, it controlled. US actually put a big tariff on Chinese products. And what China did is, China said, we will not give you the rare earth minerals. And they put restriction on 7 rare earth minerals. And the result is massive. Many automobile industries, the auto spare part industry, and many tech companies who were dependent on this rare earth minerals were almost temporarily shut. The business almost getting into closure. This was the impact. So this is one big leverage that China has against US and the world. So that is one reason why US is sparing China. The second important is a trade revival or a trade war. Do you want to revive another trade war with China? That is the biggest concern of United States of America. There were times when US and China used to hit at each other massively. And there was a time also when US charged 145% of tariff against Chinese goods. So obviously when China gets 145% of tariff, China counters it, and they issue the countermeasures. China puts back again 125% of tariff with US goods. So when this happens, the US goods also gets affected, like the LNG, the factory equipments and the coal, all these aspects which US has an edge, these products will also be hit very badly. So if you put 145, we'll put 125. You put 125, we'll put 150. It's kind of a reciprocal and it's a countermeasure. So this trade war will actually spiral out of control. And this is not good for the world, and this is not at all good for the United States of America. So this is one reason why US, to some larger extent, they do not engage with China. And also take another example. There was something called fentanyl tariff. I don't know how many of you remember this, the fentanyl tariff. Fentanyl is actually a very dangerous drug. It is normally administered to patients when normally morphine doesn't work. It is even 100 times stronger and dangerous than morphine. So it's a very serious, dangerous drug. And US is accusing China, Canada and Mexico for bringing this fentanyl drug into the US market. They are people who are dumping it in the US market. And you know what happens? This fentanyl drug is actually mixed with a local drug. In the local streets, this drug, which is very dangerous and potent, is actually mixed with local drugs. It is even stronger than heroin. It is even said it is stronger than heroin. So this becomes a very, very dangerous drug, which US does not like. And US is accusing China for bringing this drug into the US market. So US had brought in fentanyl tariffs. We are putting fentanyl tariffs to all those countries who are bringing all these drugs into the US market. So we have seen countless number of times when China has been alleged of all these things, but still US all the times they increase the tariff, and when they think of all these aspects, rare earth minerals, they bring down the tariff and they spare them. That is one. And the next important thing is the comparison between the oil arbitrage. See, compare China versus India. According to the United States of America, this is a very interesting thing to note. China is more friendlier than US because America considers India to be more dangerous people. When it comes to oil imports, we Indians are supposed to be more dangerous people according to United States of America. You know why? The main reason that they cite is regarding the oil arbitrage. You know, during the time of Russia-Ukraine war, the oil prices came down. We were getting cheaper oil. So US says that there was a time when some wealthy Indian rich families, they were very filthy rich Indian families, started to control the oil market. They made, when they were getting oil at very cheaper price, they even made more than $16 billion was the profit that they made. They buy oil at cheap price and they sell it at higher price, which is exactly profiteering. So US did not like this idea. And when you compare with Chinese people, they had no, according to the United States of America, they don't have any other choice. It is not due to some strategy that China is getting oil from Russia. It's the old historical ties which China is actually following. So US is again balancing this thing. They accuse India and they consider India as more dangerous only because of this oil arbitrage profiteering that India does. What will be the reason? The tariffs can even go higher. The tariffs ultimately can go higher and can be very costly to India. India will be prepared to balance the situation. We'll find new markets. Definitely India will cope up. But US will think twice or thrice before targeting China because these are the reasons why it happens. I hope this double standards against China is very clear. This is Arjun or Shankar. We'll come up for another great topic in the next session.